learned this afternoon's massive report surrounding Ronaldo and Neymar, as both these legends have been offered to Chelsea Football Club. On top of this, we are getting some indication that we could see a tactical change for next season, as Tuchel currently may be preparing for using a 4-3-3. So many things to break down and discuss in today's video. Hope you guys are happy to see me back again. Apologies for being away for the past few days. Of course, I had to spend some time with my girl, plus do other things in my life too. But next time, I'll give you guys a heads up. So if you're happy to see me back, if you're happy to see the content returning, and if you're happy to see me with a new haircut and trim, shout out Moody, my barber. You always got me, bro. You guys, let's get 3K likes for today's video. Without wasting any more time, now let's discuss the latest news involving both Ronaldo and Neymar. This report came from the Evening Standards. We got some news that Nizar Kinsella, formerly of Goal.com, is now the reporter for the Evening Standards, so expect to get some quality news and updates from him. Essentially saying that both Neymar and Ronaldo have been offered to us for the summer. We already know that Todd Boehly held talks with Jorge Mendes, of course Ronaldo's agent, plus the agent of some of Portugal's finest talent, as well as the fact that Neymar's team have also recently held contact with us as well too. So, you know, Todd Boehly, new guy in charge right now, new opportunity to form new relationships as well, and you'd imagine that profiles like this are the type of profiles that he would like, based on the fact that the strategy that his LA Dodgers team had kind of focused on signing some of the best names in baseball too. But regardless, let's continue on and let's focus on Ronaldo before focusing on Neymar. We found out today that Ronaldo has not taken part in today's pre-season at Man United. Now, this doesn't confirm the player is on strike. It's just down to the fact that he has family commitments, and of course the club understand them. But one thing that he isn't here for is the ambition that Man United are currently showing. You know, they're making no moves in the transfer window. They are struggling to bring players in. And of course, they have no Champions League football. Now we have even more breaking news to discuss, courtesy of Mr. Ornstein and Miguel Delaney. At this point in time, we are actively considering signing Ronaldo in this window. Man United, for no reason at all, are starting to play hardball, insisting that Ronaldo commits to his contract, which expires next year. But they're purely doing that for PR reasons, because it's kind of embarrassing that Ronaldo wants to leave United just as he literally signed for them last year. Still though, Todd Boehly and fellow director in Abad Iqbali are currently scheming up ways that a move can work. Finances won't be an issue whatsoever. It will simply come down to Thomas Tuchel, and I'll give my thoughts and opinions on this during the end of my Neymar point. But to continue on, the directors see a move for Ronaldo as a possibility to sign one of the icons of the modern game. In a potential transition season as well, would it not make sense for us in terms of the boost towards our profile, the boost towards our marketing as well too, knowing that we have the most marketable, popular sports person in the world representing us and playing for us, and if he helps us achieve Champions League football, trophies, etc., then you know that this is literally adding to the legend that is Ronaldo. And is this an opportunity that we could literally just quickly dismiss and ignore? I'm not too sure. Now, more big news, of course, is dropping courtesy of Miguel Delaney this time, and it's reported that Ronaldo is more than happy to accept a massive wage reduction on his existing deal. Now, that existing contract at United is between $500,000 a week and $700,000 a week, but you'd imagine that a lot of that is through like not only higher wages, but you know, image rights, clauses, etc. But that is a crazy amount of money, and Ronaldo is making it clear, and I think now that that information's been released, wouldn't be surprised if this is Jorge Mendes, of course, having a bit of influence, talking to the journalists. But with Ronaldo publicly stating that he is happy to take a big wage reduction, it keeps supporting the story that he only wants to leave now to continue to play at the highest level, to continue to compete for trophies, to continue to, you know, play in the Champions League. He's approaching 38 years old, and you'd imagine that Ronaldo, for me, could easily play until he's 40 years old. Big news, crazy report. Let's see whether Tuchel decides to take the bait now and go for Ronaldo. Currently, us, Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain have light interest at this point in time, with us being more of the favourites. So let's see what happens. Right now, let's discuss the latest news on Neymar. Currently, Neymar earns around 600 bags a week, which is a crazy amount of money. We do know from previous reports so that Paris Saint-Germain could be open to allowing Neymar to leave on loan. It allows them, of course, to get a loan fee, plus help with the wages as well. We understand that no club will fulfill that 600k a week, of course, wage demand. However, they will look to subsidise his contracts and wages to help move the player on. Neymar on loan for a season? hey, could be worse players to sign. We're looking at Saul from last season. But regardless though, all these names are nice, and it's nice to hear some of like the very best players of this generation being linked with us. But ultimately, Thomas Tuchel gets the final say. That's how this window is playing now. And one thing that I do know that I think I shared on my channel like over a year ago when Tuchel first came was that the culture at Paris Saint-Germain wasn't a culture that was best suited towards Thomas Tuchel. And basically it's like this. If you have players in your team as a manager that have direct access to the owners of the football club, they have them in the WhatsApp group, you know, they've got direct access where they can call them with any issue they have, it is going to make it very hard for you to have that full control and power that ideally you want to have as a coach. You are potentially going to get undermined. And it only makes sense, all the reports of Neymar, listen, with proper superstars like Neymar and Mbappe, like superstars of the game, they are kind of allowed to have their own rules. Let's say if Neymar turns up late for training or something, he won't get punished for that, it's just what Neymar does. Let's say Mbappe as well too decides maybe today he doesn't want to go to training, he has some business stuff to attend to, he has that type of say and power as well. And you know, it's those types of structures that Thomas Tuchel is definitely looking to avoid. This is why he found us so refreshing, that we have, you know, owners that believe in him, and a new one currently who also believes in him as well too. And the fact that he can mold the team ideally to the system and the way he wants his teams to play. So I can't imagine Tuchel being as excited to go for both Neymar and Ronaldo, not because they're not good enough. And I really want to stress this in the video. I'm not here to talk about Neymar and Ronaldo not being good enough to play for us. I mean, of course, these guys are. But I'm trying to just think from the manager's perspective based on, you know, some of the things I know about him. And of course, observations are after watching us play under him for 18 months. And Tuchel currently wants us to be a high intensity, aggressively pressing team. Ronaldo doesn't pressure, Ronaldo does nothing up front. That doesn't help us. Neymar, of course, can press, but I'm talking about aggressive pressing where, you know, your front three are the first defenders there looking to close down opposition in their half. And of course, you know, look to stop any counterattacks. Neymar won't be that guy to do that. You know, Tuchel had to make up for the lack of defensive intensity from his front three during this time there. So I can't imagine him wanting to be in a situation where he gets stressed out again. And for me, it's simply this. We had our record signing in our history, on record wages in our history as well too, who still didn't command the attention of Tuchel to adapt and change things in the system. So if we can see that already, we're like one of the biggest examples. I can't imagine that leniency being made for Neymar or Ronaldo, not when Tuchel has full say to mold this team exactly how he wants. So that's my thoughts and opinions behind the deal. If we were to make a move for any of them, it would be incredibly surprising because both these players, both these legends are talking to us at this point in time. So let's continue to see how this story develops. How do you guys find Ronaldo or Neymar here for next season? Would you like to see that happen? If so, let us know in the comment section who you prefer to sign out of Neymar or Ronaldo. Now, this story came from The Athletic, from journalist Liam Toomey, and it does seem like we could be seeing a tactical identity shift potentially for next season. Now, the article starts off like this. I won't break down the full article. I'll discuss like some of the key points in it, but I am going to actually link the article in the description. And I want to start getting in that habit of, you know, linking these sources I'm using to make today's video, just in case you guys want to read it for yourselves. But regardless, we know pre-season, of course, is starting. Next week, we fly off to America to kickstart our first pre-season tours. And basically, the article starts off by discussing how much we've been in catch-up mode throughout the summer. Of course, we know that we've had months taken away from us due to being sanctions, and when you're losing out on months like this, it gives your rivals around you more advantage at this point in time. So we have to move with haste and we have to be super quick. Regardless, we got some more insight behind Todd Boehly's takeover. When the official takeover finally happens and took place, that was when Marina Granovskaya's role was gradually starting to get sidelined and reduce, of course hinting to the fact that Boehly was going to have a hands-on approach, which was confirmed when he became our interim sporting director. Now, one of the benefits about having less people at the top making decisions now is that things become a lot more streamlined. Now, the article used this as an example, talking about how Marina and Petr Cech would have actually given Lukaku another season based on his finances and costs, and the fact that he started and ended the season well. But I guess ideally the relationship between Tuchel and Lukaku wasn't productive for either member. Now imagine if we had people like that still here. Not that I'm using it in a negative way, but just for the context of the point I'm making. You know, that is time that we can't afford to waste, still deciding as to whether we're going to keep Lukaku or not. So having less people at the top is making decision making a lot more streamlined and easier. And interestingly enough, as the article does go on, I'm getting some confirmation behind something I've been praying and waiting for and hoping for, and that is talks of a shift to a 4-3-3. I'm sure you guys know my thoughts now. I've spoken about this for over 18 months, but I feel like 4-3-3 with an extra attacking player, and with the possibility of having your attacking players playing and receiving the ball in their best positions and areas, is naturally going to increase offensive output. I think we've struggled against a lot of deep block teams, defensive teams. We need more solutions for that, and my perfect thing has been to see 4-3-3 for most of the teams, and of course using the back three system for big games against our rivals. I think that is the best of both worlds, and I'm hoping this is what we're going to start seeing from next season. Of course, we know that when 3-4-2-1 first became a thing, ideally it was to take advantage of the experienced players at the time who do a lot better with more like a structured, methodical football compared to that vertical football we were playing before under Frank Lampard, which a lot of times requires the actual talent and ability of the players in the field instead of the system. But the reason for the tactical shift, of course, was to complement the players Tuchel had, and of course to get the best out of your Jorginhos and Thiago Silvas, who are a lot better with the added support and protection around them. But still, with all these reports of attacking players we're looking at, in my head I'm thinking we can't just be signing replacements for Pulisic and Ziyech, literally signing like identical, like stylistic replacements for them, who you could argue are better, of course, to maintain playing the same way we play. That makes no sense. And I've been hoping that Tuchel understands this too, and their support gives me a lot of hope that we will start to see a transition away now to a 4-3-3. We have the box-to-box mids, you guys. Come on. Mount, he would absolutely blow up in that position. Conor Gallagher is incredible there. Loftus-Cheek can fully return back to his best. We know what this guy can do when he has full offensive license. And of course, it complements the attacking players as well too. I guess the only ironic thing is the fact that, you know, for example, we're about to sell Hakim Ziyech, and it's like he now has a real use in the team. If we are moving to a 4-3-3 system, ideally I wouldn't even mind him staying based on that, because I think he has a lot more to show and express from that side. But before I end with things, you guys, we have more context to discuss from the article, and we know that Tuchel has a lot of say and power with this window in particular, but that doesn't mean that he's basing his transfer target decisions based on pure intuition. It came out that he is using the same data analysis team that he was using whilst he was the manager at Dortmund. So they've essentially been that third party, of course, working alongside Tuchel, and it was due to his work with this team that someone like Rafinha became the main choice, because in their data analyst system, you know, Rafinha's offensive output came out a lot stronger than other targets around him. So we know that Tuchel's very methodical, so I'm not surprised that he's making sure that, listen, if I've got full say and power, I know that I'll take responsibility if things don't work out. That's not going to happen. I'm taking no L's next season. So let's see what happens. We know at this point in time the club are actively hiring data scientists now, because Todd Boehly wants to have a full-on data team as part of his structure at the club. Ideally, we want to sign 6 to 8 people who specialize with data. So slowly but surely, Todd Boehly is structuring the club in his image, and let's see what happens, because next season is looking quite promising in my opinion. So right now, let's send things to the latest updates on Raheem Sterling.